Alright, what's up everyone? I'm gonna make another real quick video here on on the Bitcoin larger time frames. So let's go right into it. Here I have the BLX charts, 1 day, pretty clean. There's two counts obviously that I'm looking at here on the longer term time frame. So this is this is the daily chart. This is probably some type of ABC. Um, uh, and what I'd be looking at right now is this triangle, this uptrend that we have to maintain. Okay, that we have to maintain. If you go ahead and click Command and Control, you'll understand that there is that you can drag the thing, right? There's a target up here that I'd be interested in attaining, and also a Fibonacci extension that would draw your targets also if we would simply break out of the 61.8 over here. I would undercut it just a little bit or overcut it, whatever you want to say, just in case. It would also be a break of resistance. One of Gann's rules is to buy a breakout if it passes 3 points or more. Now, he means when he says 3 points, he's talking about dollars. I'm since we can't really talk about dollars in Bitcoin, I'm gonna say it's 3%. 3% as in 3 points, and see if that matches up. That matches up pretty nicely, and so I'm saying that it's gonna be a breakout buy at 10,900. A breakout buy at 10,900 with a target of at least 14K. There's going to be a little bit of resistance here, but I'm thinking 100% gains right to the top of the channel here to come if we break right here. So literally your risk to reward would be, it'd look something like this. Pretty nice, right? Your stop loss is up to you, either underneath the 0.5, trailing with an EMA, or underneath the 382, right? That's a wide one. You can use staggered stop losses, which are pretty good in my opinion. So, I mean, you could be targeting 100% gains from the breakout point, right? 90% gains right around there. It's up to you. You can take profits as well. The longer it takes, the more upslope the rise. So it's a patient trade. I mean, this one would be a swing trade or a value trade or a position trade, I think they call it, for about 200 days. So let's actually pull up some moving averages here. This is not the right chart. Let's go to the 5 days. And just to understand that this thing is really bullish, right? I mean, it's been in an uptrend since its inception here. This is maybe impulsive, and then it pulls back, maybe a 382. And then again, pulls back, 382. Again, it pulls back, perhaps a 382. You'd have to take, let's check it real quick. So take off the magnet tool because I'm trying to make it real quick. So the first one, we undercut it like way below. So I don't know how the percentage worked out there. This one, we also undercut it. Okay, so it seems like that would be the pattern. Should I add it? Should I add, and try to eyeball what the number is at this time? Here, let's try to see. It might be the 8 or the 9, or the 0.7, 82. I usually don't use those numbers, so it'll be interesting to see if that's the case. 0.782. Okay, it's not that one. 884 or 882. forgot what that number is, or 0.9. This bad boy? No. How about 0.99? That's weird, eh? No, 0.99 is way 0.91, 0.92. So just kind of eyeballing it, right? 0.95. So that means it retraced 90% of its move, basically, um, for this one here. Now let me try to do it here as well and see if it's the same. Nope. So this one looks more like a 782. But yeah, that's kind of stuff that you can do on your own time if you want to mess with the charts when it comes to historical data. Okay. So let's take a look at this uptrend once again and see the two scenarios that I'm watching. My ideal setup would be that we pull back right now. So we discussed about the bullish breakout scenario. If we break out above the 61.8 and 3 points above here, and also a break above some support resistances. So that's three signs. Four, if you compare the past, looks exactly similar to this right here. This was the breakout point. Also the 618. We broke up, and our target was the 2 on this one right here. Was 2. So if you wanted to target the same target, you could be like 140. But I would target the trend line, in my opinion, right? So start to add some trend lines here, right? This is what I would target for at least a little bit of a pullback. So this one was bad. So it's up to you. I mean, you use a trailing stop if you want to do that. So use a trailing stop. Yeah, so let's take a look at this uptrend. It's just so damn bullish. Let's go back to the 5-day chart. So one idea that we can use to trade this would be to just buy on these moving averages, right? And have a stop loss, a trailing stop loss, right? So that would have been a really decent strategy at that point to capitalize on the uptrend. So it seems like right now the price is above the moving averages, as you can see, and we've been there for a little bit, for a little while. The only difference with this one is that we got two crossovers. We got one crossover here and one consolidated crossover here, whereas this one we only got one crossover right here. So that's the big difference. And also, this one here only took 220 days, whereas this one here took 450. So double the size and double the crossover. So the next scenario, the one that I'm watching, the one that I'm kind of hoping for here, is that we make a triangle. We make some type of triangle. Let's delete this one. This is a target line, right? So a target line for a possible bull uptrend. But what I'm looking for, the triangle, is something like this, like A, plus we would get another breakout right here of this trend line. So it's like a triple whammy. I like to look for 5 reasons for entering a trade, at least 3 anyways, but 5 is pretty freaking good. So if you use A, B, C, D, and E, I want to buy December. That would be my bullish accumulation. As long as we keep this uptrend going intact, I would be bullish on Bitcoin. But since Bitcoin is a bullish asset, I'm thinking that we might actually not get here. I am hoping that we do. I am hoping that we do. If you want to take a trade on the short side, you can do that. But just be ready to definitely take your loss and reverse your position if you're a short trader. Now we're talking about position trading, right? So we're talking about literally 200 days here, right? So I'm giving you guys a broad perspective and a general perspective on the market here for Bitcoin in the very large time frames. I mean, we're just talking about half a year, to be honest. So a couple months. Um, Maybe in another video we're gonna go run through some higher time frames that could be helpful to a lot of people. Um, so that's what I'm looking at right now. I would take this trade here as well on the short side, but really this is the one that I am eyeing. It's the one that I'm looking at. Um, this accumulation zone right here in December, specifically December 21st, right here. So add a vertical line. And then what I expect the price to do is show us an uptrend, maybe consolidate a bit, show us an uptrend. So the question we have to ask is Bitcoin bullish right now? And the answer to that is simply yes, it is bullish. It's bullish because we're above all the moving averages, and it's bullish because the bulls are defending these moving averages. And we got a pullback here, and we didn't even touch the moving average, which tells me that, well, we're bullish. Yeah, we're getting a bearish candle, but in reality, those could be just shorts trapped inside this candle you see right here. So what happens usually if you're personally, right? Personally, you are in a short position. Maybe you got the top of this candle, hypothetically, and right now you're up 5%. Okay, what happens when the price goes above your entry? What do you think these traders, these short traders, are going to do? Of course, they're going to buy. What do you think the long traders, the bulls, are going to do? The bulls are going to, if they're smart, if they're good traders, they're going to defend their position and they're actually going to push up the prices. So that's what I'm thinking is going to do. If you take a look at the indicators, we are getting a little bit of drowsiness, a little bit of downsloping, but we are also getting some momentum. Like a double crossover usually is good here. Let's take the 8-day chart into consideration. We're still bullish on the 8-day chart. 3-day chart's the bear cycle. That's looking very interesting, but we're still pointing upwards. Let's check the daily here. The daily's kind of, just doing its thing. So these are the three charts that I would take into consideration: the 3-day, the 5-day, and the 8-day for sure. So the 3-day is the one that's kind of iffy, right? The 3-day is the one that I'm watching on the bear side. And if we break these levels here with the moving averages, then for sure we would get some lower prices for Bitcoin, and that would be good. That would be good for us. So if we get a breakout here, I would be out. I'd lower my stop loss right here, obviously. So it'd be about a 10% stop loss if you enter right now on a short, about a 4 to 1 risk to reward at least. If you're targeting the trend line, it gets bigger. If you're targeting 61.8, it gets about 3 to 1 risk to reward. So you also have to think about that, right? A psychology of traders. This is a great risk to reward on the downside, but also on the upside. This one here is about a 3 to 1. You can minimize it by making it a little bit tighter. But what I would do is I would put it below to start, below the 3A2, and make it trend with the EMAs. And that's pretty simply. Pretty simple. So there's my two cases. Here's my bear case, a temporary bearish case for an A, B, C, D, E, and then afterwards a bounce of this trend line. That's what I really do hope will happen, and will give us a higher low, and just give us a really nice target for a third wave, impulse wave upwards, and a continuation of this very strong bullish Bitcoin trend that we've seen in the past. Um, that we've seen in the past. So let that sink in, and let you know, let your give me your thoughts. What do you think the market is going to do? Do you think the market is going to push through? Do you think the bulls are going to start, pushing with their volume, and we're eventually going to, the shorts are going to start taking their loss above that $11,000 range? What do you think? Give me your thoughts on the market. Or do you think we're going to go and retest the bottom of the trend line here? I mean, Bitcoin is a bullish asset. You have to remember that. Like, it's probably one of the most bullish assets in the history of the world. To be honest with you, it could be a complete joke, right? We don't know who made it. It can be a complete joke. But the Bitcoin creator has never moved his keys and all that good stuff. If you've accumulated in 2013, it just, like, if you accumulated in 2013, you could be even adding to the trend, and you could be a straight bull and be one of those guys that I'm talking about that actually pushes up the trend. So, and the question is, would they want to do it right now, or would they want to do it later? But I think maybe right now is the time. You know why it might be the time? Because you might not get a time like this again, where shorts are trapped like this. It's a little bit of shorts. It's not like super, if we check Binance real quick for the volume and the candles, it's a little bit of shorts for sure. But just the way it's getting accumulated and bought up is kind of a bullish sign to me. So that's pretty much all I wanted to say for on the long term, right? For Bitcoin right here. So how long are we going to give this? What I would give this chart is probably a week or two, 3 weeks max, for this thing to play out on the breakup upwards. If in 3 weeks we're at the same price, we're automatically bullish. And you should be in 2 weeks, if we're above 10,300, 10,450, then we become bullish. Maybe you want to use the 3-point rule here as well. So just let's just say 10,900 to be set. 10,900 bullish breakout right here. It would also be a strong break of this trend line here. So it's just like multiple reasons for entry. So that's pretty much all. Give me your thoughts. What do you think about the market? And yeah, that's it for this video. That's pretty much it for this video. Have a great evening.